Here's JD Vance talking to the troops at the military base in Greenland.
There was a lot of criticism from Denmark, a lot of attacks at the Trump administration, at the president, at me, at others in our administration for saying the obvious, which is that Denmark hasn't done a good job at keeping Greenland safe. And one of the things I heard was, well, what about the many Danes who lost their lives in the war on terror fighting alongside the United States? Well, look, we obviously honor the sacrifice of our Danish friends in the war on terror 20 years ago, just as, for example, the French honor the sacrifice of Americans in Normandy 80 years ago. But recognizing that there are important security partnerships in the past does not mean that we can't have disagreements with allies in the present about how to preserve our shared security for the future. And that's what this is about. There is no amount of bullying, no amount of obfuscating, no amount of confusing the issue. Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. You have underinvested in the people of Greenland, and you have underinvested in the security architecture of this incredible, beautiful landmass filled with incredible people. That has to change. And because it hasn't changed, this is why President Trump's policy in Greenland is what it is.
So what he says details the problem perfectly. Really, it's the relationship that we have with Europe as a whole. They demand us to protect the way of life that we all share. They demand for us to provide all of the military spending to make sure that they're protected from the big bad bullies. We allow them to live their comfortable socialist utopias over in Europe because they don't have to spend anything on military. And what JD Vance and Donald Trump are saying is that we have evidence China and Russia are encroaching onto Greenland. So give it to us so we can defend it for all of our shared priorities, and the United States can use its natural resources to further bolster our military, improve our energy-intensive industries like AI and technology and manufacturing, which will ultimately benefit Europe. If Russia or China invades Greenland while it's under Danish control, who do you think's gonna have to stop in and save it anyway? We will. So Europe loves the world that we create and the prosperity that it creates for them, but they won't let us lead and take charge in a way that we deem necessary to preserve not just our, but their safety as well too. They want a virtue signal and morally posture. Oh, this is sovereign territory. You can't just take it. Well, Russia doesn't care what you have to say about Greenland's sovereignty. China doesn't care. They play by the same rules that the great nation states have always played by. It's only the United States that seemingly gets its hands tied behind its back when having to operate amongst the global order. They will take it because they can, because it furthers their interests. And their interests are at complete odds with the West. The reason why I said this great clash between superpowers has never happened before in history. Obviously, great nations have warred before, but because we are knee-deep in the AI race right now, a technological race that will have implications so drastic, whatever nation wins this race will have world dominance for the next several centuries. And does Europe think China has any qualms about playing dirty to achieve this? Do you think they're allowing themselves to be handcuffed by Western liberal ideals and limitations? Yeah, if we take Greenland, I bet Europe is going to be a little pissed off. But I think they're going to be a lot less pissed off at that than if Russia takes it and now they have to worry about an invasion from the north, not just from the east.